Hi everyone. For those beyond my first connections, my name's Mike Tumulty. I've built and scaled inside sales teams and sales teams from San Diego on the west coast of the US, right the way through Europe and across to southeast of Australia into Sydney, south of Australia into Melbourne, generated hundreds of millions in revenue across my career so far. But today I'm not here to espouse my credentials. Well, maybe just a little bit. But I'm here in an attempt to try and give back and support all of those people who've been the unfortunate economic victims of the COVID-19 pandemic. I also find myself in that same situation as a lot of people where I'm in between roles at the minute, but I wanted to share with you just some of my experiences that I've seen during these last 3 or 4 weeks. There's so many conversations to be had. It's no doubt it's a tough market. I'm not going to hide or sugarcoat it. It's really tough out there. But there's certainly businesses still hiring salespeople today. During these past 3 or 4 weeks, I've met some crazy good people, some phenomenal founders, some great sales leaders. I've spoken to a number of salespeople who are looking to progress their sales careers. I've seen some great technology. I've had the time during these past few weeks to spend looking at new technologies that I wouldn't have had the time to see in the past. So I've taken the time to actually go and do that during these last 3 or 4 weeks of downtime. I encourage everybody, though, to spend time, whether you're employed or unemployed right now, to educate yourself on your space. Your competitors, they're producing masses of content right now. They're trying to stay engaged with their customers. So get into consumption mode. Try and take in as much of their content as possible so that when you're in a like-for-like battle against one of your competitors, you know what they're going to say before they even say it. So get into that mode where you can consume as much information as possible. I know it's tough. I know everybody's head is all over the place with COVID, the future, what it means for everybody. But if you can take in a little bit more information around your competitors and the market space in general, it is going to stand you in good stead. The reason why I'm here today, though, is to help people when they're looking for the next stage of their career. There's little things that I can do to try and assist. I don't espouse to be the greatest of sales leaders. I know everything about everything, and I've got all these silver bullets lined up for everybody. But there are experiences that you can lean on from myself that might be able to help you during this period of time. The new reality is that it's not easy to find a role out there. You've got companies like LinkedIn and Glassdoor who have created these easy apply buttons and click here now and submit your CV, and the intentions are fantastic and are great. The problem, though, is that you've got now 600 or 700 people that are applying for that one role. So the competition has never been fiercer. You need to now look at how can I differentiate myself from the pack. Getting to the end of the day and looking back and seeing that I've notched up 20 or 30 applications, and you may feel this sense of accomplishment. I'm looking for a job. I can't do any more. I've submitted 20 or 30 applications. The problem is there's 10x people doing that. There's 20x people doing that, or even more. So the easy apply buttons, they're creating their own problem from what I'm seeing. I'm seeing 600 or 700 people, like I say, that are applying for inside sales roles, for VP roles, for sales director roles. Whatever the role is, the numbers are very, very high. And that's due to the economic situation that we have today. We've got a number of no longer is it 10 or 20 people who are the poor performers from a different company. They've moved into a new role. Or they're looking to move into a new role because they've been let go from the last one. You've got very talented people who, through no fault of their own, have been laid off, who've had to leave their companies because of this COVID situation. And it's no fault of those companies either. It's just the reality of the situation that we're in today. So the competition is no longer a 20 or 30 people, of which a good number of them are maybe poor performers from previous companies. There are 600 or 700 people, of which there's going to be some very talented people within there. So you need to look at how you can differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack. So the reason why I'm here today is I'm going to give you my top 5 tips. As somebody that's hired hundreds of people, whether in the US or all the way over to Australia, I've hired hundreds and hundreds of people during my career to date. And there's certain things that I would look for, especially during this situation of people looking to differentiate themselves from the pack. So let's get to it, and we'll get to the top 5 plus a bonus tip towards the end. So tip number 1 is research. Do your research on every company that you're applying for. Don't just hit the apply button for each job, submit your CV. It does not need to be war and peace, but use the 3 in 3 technique. 3 facts about the company, the hiring manager, the industry. 3 facts that you can find in 3 minutes. So 3 facts that you can't ordinarily find on their job description. So don't just, oh, I've read the job description, it said these things. Go and find something else about that organization. Go and find out something from their earnings call. Go and find out how they're dealing with the pandemic. Go and find out from Glassdoor what their satisfaction score is. Just find out a little bit of information that you can utilize during your pitch and your interview process. So tip number 1, do your research. Tip number 2, personalize. What I mean by this is update your CV, your cover letter for the job that you're going for. If you've got a standard template that you're just submitting 30 times for 30 different jobs, then it's throw as much against the wall and see what sticks. That's not going to work for you. So I know in the past people have thought, well, this is a numbers game. If I throw enough applications out there, it's going to work for me. And in the past, that could have worked. But right now, we've got 600 or 700 applications per job. So that's no longer going to work. You're going to have to do your research, and then you're going to have to personalize your approach. Make sure that your CV and your cover letter is tailored to that individual company's requirements. Read their job description thoroughly, see where you match, and tell a story about where you don't match. But make sure that you're getting your point across. So tip number 2, personalize. Tip number 3, profile. So hunt down the hiring manager on LinkedIn. Find out who it is. Use your sales skills that you've developed over the last few years and find their email address. Cold calling to receptions, cold calling to HR, try and get hold of the talent acquisition people. Utilize the technologies that are out there which you can get free of charge. Things like Lucia. Go and get a Lucia license where you can get 5 free credits for nothing because you're going to do a trial. And find out the email address for the hiring manager. See if you can get their phone number. See if you can get their mobile phone number. There's technologies out there which are giving away free licenses right now to help you with sales prospecting, but you can use this also for your own job prospecting. So profile the individuals, find out who they are, and get ready. Because for step number 4, you need to differentiate. And what do I mean by that? Everybody's sending their CVs, everybody's sending their cover letters, but very, very rarely do I see people send a video. And believe me, having recorded this video, unfortunately, I'm not one take to multi. It takes a few takes, but record a short video introduction of yourself. Make sure you leverage the 3 in 3 that we talked about a little bit earlier and how you would benefit, how you'd be perfect for that role. There are free tools out there such as Vidyard or Zoom, which will let you record videos for free of charge. They'll let you record them and download them. And you can send them through to the hiring managers, and you are instantaneously differentiating yourself from those people that are sending in their CVs and sending in their cover letters. You differentiate yourself because you've done your research on the organization. You're not just doing an introduction about yourself, you're doing an introduction about the company, you're doing an introduction about the role, how you're going to be perfect for that role. Worst case scenario, use your smartphone. If you can't get hold of the technology for whatever reason, although it is free of charge, use your smartphone. Just record a short video of yourself. It doesn't need to be war and peace. It doesn't need to be as long as this video is. It can be 30 seconds to a minute. But it's something different. It's something compelling that you can get in front of the hiring manager straight away. My only one thing for you is if you're going to record it on your smartphone, The file size could be quite large. If you're going to attach that to an email, there is a chance that it won't get through. So my tip for this would just be to send it through LinkedIn. Find out, try and connect with the hiring manager, try and connect with people within the talent acquisition team, and send the message and with the video through LinkedIn, because then you've got no barriers in terms of spam filters. So that's tip number 4, differentiate. Tip number 5 is persistence. You need to treat your career and job hunting as a sales play. You'd not give up after one step of a cadence. You'd not give up after one step of a sequence when trying to hunt down a customer, when you're trying to sell your product or your solution. So why would you give up after one email or one application for the ideal career or the ideal job that you're looking for? When selling the one thing that you understand the most, all of your USPs, all of your cultural traits that you possess, which will make your product, yourself in this case, the perfect fit for their requirements. So multiple calls, multiple emails, LinkedIn messages to the talent acquisition team. If you don't hear anything in 3 days, follow up. If you don't hear anything again, follow up. Be persistent, because persistence is a good sales trait. So people that are actually following up, it's one of those things that myself as a hiring manager, I like to see in people. If I've not responded within a few days and people start to chase me, I actually like that. I like people to chase me. I like people who really want the job to keep me honest. So persistence is going to be my 5th top tip for hunting down the role of your choice. I told you that there'd be a bonus one, and that bonus one is prospect. There are many companies out there right now where they've posted jobs out there which are not the jobs that are ideal for you. You've looked at the roles and that's not quite what I'm looking for. This one, I'd really love to work for this organization, but they just don't have any jobs for me. There's nothing to stop you reaching out to the talent acquisition team. There's nothing stopping you reaching out to the head of a business unit and following the first 5 steps to go after the job that you want. There's many examples which I could talk about, which I'm not going to do here, but I could talk about in length of people that have gone after certain companies. They've prospected into there. They didn't have the job that they wanted, but they came across so well that company made a role for them. They brought them into a position, and then they will be able to progress throughout that organization. So prospect within organizations that you really want to get into. It's one of those top tips that I actually do myself. Is I look at different companies in different industries that I'm interested in going into, and if they're not hiring right now, I make sure that I reach out to the founders, the CEOs, their investors, to the VC investors, with some of those top tips that I've talked about earlier. And that's why in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been able to have some very interesting conversations, seen some really cool technology, and spoken to some very talented and very smart people. So I hope that these 5 top tips plus the bonus one have been of use to you today. I have wrote a blog post. I'm going to put them in the comment section below, where you'll be able to read these top tips. Please give it a thumbs up, give it a little share. If you've got any questions, if you want to challenge any of the top tips or any of the tactics, or you want to have somebody just have a quick look at your CV, I've got time on my hands. I'm more than happy to help. If it gets a little bit crazy and 100 start coming in, which I doubt, but if 100 start coming in, then of course I'll have to manage that a little bit better. But my offer is there to anybody that's watching the video. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Happy hunting. I hope you get the career that you deserve. Thanks for watching. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.